magic carpet ride last night. But when you wake up in the morning, the world still gets you uptight. Well, there's nothing better you ain't tried to fill the emptiness inside. But when you come back down, girl, still ain't feeling right. And don't it seem like kicks just keep getting harder to find?
Oh, yeah, kicks are harder to find.
You piece of mind.
Oh, take it away, Mark Lindsay.
Hey, Dave.
How you doing?
Dave, dude.
Hey.
I couldn't be better. I absolutely couldn't be better.
You know, being in the islands as you are, I am not only I am more envious than I already was at the top of the evening. Let me put it that way.
Well, okay. Here's the deal. When in 1962, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, I'll move over this way.
it's 1962.
1962, as a member of a newly formed group called Paul Revere and the Raiders, we played the islands, and one of the places we played was Maui. And at that time, there were maybe 3 people here. We played for all of 3 of them. They seemed to like it, but I fell in love with the island. And since '62, oh gosh, I'm giving away my age.
And you were 9 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since '62, I've been back many times, and Maui has always had this magnetic pull to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've moved many times in my life. Started out in the Northwest, and as a matter of fact, we were living in Idaho, where I grew up, before we moved here. But we moved here, and I'm telling you, Dave, I'm home.
This is it.
I am home.
Yeah. I understand.
This is it.
Now, do you have
You'll come over, and you'll understand totally.
you have a recording studio there, I would assume?
Well, we're in the process of building it, and thank God I didn't move sooner because, as you know, with technology, well, right now we're on the web, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, anybody listening out there, it's www.marklindsay.com.
Very good.
And that's how we stay in touch with you,
Mm-hmm.
because here on Maui, right now, they don't even have satellite television.
Wow.
But they're throwing up a satellite apparently in a couple of months. We'll get the small dish stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way we stay in touch radio-wise, I'm telling you, radio here is, well, let's say, a little different.
Your set still has Marconi on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But luckily, via the web, we can dial you guys up and stay in touch with what's happening on the mainland.
That's great.
The Big 550.
You got it. Hey, before we go any further, I just wanted to do this real quick. You ready?
Well, I don't know. I guess.
Is that classy, or is that some birthday music?
Birthday to somebody.
Tomorrow.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Wow, 27 years old, ladies and
27 again. Yeah,
again and again and
the
again.
14th time, but we're not talking.
Well, probably more than that. I don't know. Well, let's just say that I'm pulling 50 and pushing 60.
And doing a darn good job of it too.
But I'm pulling harder than I'm pushing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked over a couple of the newsletters here stepping out, and I have seen various fan newsletters and stuff. This is one of the better ones, I must say.
Well, thank you very much. It's amazing. We put out the fan magazine just basically for those who are interested in my career, or 2, the Raiders' career, because I was I was kind of tied up in that too. And I have been in touch with the guys recently. But anyway, I try to just basically tell it like it was and like it is. But the amazing thing is, via the web, we get probably half our subscribers to the newsletter are from out of the U.S.
Wow.
From Norway, Sweden, Germany, Brazil,
now, when
England.
when the Raiders were touring in the '60s, did you guys do some European gigs then?
Well, yes, we did. We actually went out with the Beach Boys, and we opened for the Beach Boys on a couple of tours, and went through Holland and Scandinavia, Norway. We've never been to Japan, but apparently from the royalty statements that keep coming in and the pictures, Dave, you wouldn't believe it. I have pictures of Raider sleeve pictures of 45s in Japan.
Yeah.
That have me looking very Asian.
Wow.
and the carpenters who I worked with before said that's how they do it. They kind of like kind of slant your eyes and and make you more palatable.
Whatever pumps up the record sales.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we never toured in Japan. But apparently there was a huge fan base there, and I'm very grateful for it because we have a lot of our newsletters go to Japan.
That's great to hear. I'm glad to hear that for you. Let's go ahead and give out your email address while we're at it here too. We've got now. Why is the Y dropped off your name and your email address?
Well, because apparently you can't have.
Oh, there's a limit on how many letters.
You have to have 6.
Okay.
Hold on one second. We're going to be very, very risque here. I'm going to shut off the water into the tub.
Oh.
It's now like.
This is a first.
What time is it in your time?
It's about 9:17.
Okay, it's 5:17 here, and it's the end of the day, more or less, and it's been a hard day beating back the jungle.
I understand, sure.
So we'll be taking a bath together.
Every once in a while, we'll hear all of those magical, caw, caw.
Hey, listen, if you want, unfortunately, the range of this phone isn't good enough, but I could take you down to where the wild parrots are right now at the concert.
Break my heart. Well, anyway, the email address is Mark Lindsay, except you drop the Y off, so MarkLindsa at AOL.com. And then could they get the newsletter?
See, the web address is Mark Lindsay, but isn't it SAY?
Yeah, that's the www.marklindsay.com.
Oh, yeah, that's the web thing.
Yeah, but this is the email also. And then if they would like to get hooked up with your fan letter, Mark, would they go to the post office box address then? Is that it?
That's snail mail, we're calling it. Yes,
snail mail, because it moves so slowly.
Absolutely.
I got you, sure.
Compared to, right now you're in St. Louis, and I'm in Maui, and it's almost instantaneous.
It sure is. What'd you say? It's post office box 1269. And then are we going to do a little 17-line Japanese poem here? Because it says haiku, Hawaii.
You can if you want to, but that's the name of where we live is actually on the North Shore, and there's nothing. Haiku is like 10 miles away.
I got you.
That's the nearest post office.
That was the nearest post office. It was either that or travel by Vine. And we don't mean Hollywood AM.
I think you're joking.
Yeah, that's it, huh?
Well, when we pulled, when we moved you out here, they had one phone line, and due to circumstances beyond our control, we needed at least 4 phone lines.
Yeah, sure.
So they said, well, we can't do that. We take it to the pole, you take it in.
Mm-hmm.
So yours truly here went down to the phone company, bought a 5-pair line, a 500-foot 5-pair line, and trenched it and dug it in, and so now that's why I can speak to you.
So now, if we would do another Mission Impossible movie, you could be the electronics expert.
Well, maybe the guy that digs the trench where they put the electronics,
or the guy that holds the Dixie cup to his ear, huh? Something like that. Anyway, we never give out. It's Haiku Hawaii 96708. Mark, we already have a bunch of people on hold who would like to talk to you.
Well, I'm ready.
Before we go to them, though, I wanted to play a couple other little cuts of things for you and get your reactions. Here is the first one. This goes back a couple of years. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Oh, baby, come on. Oh, baby, come on.
Meet your baby where the action is.
Hey, now I want to tell you, it's an
where the action is.
It's an afternoon. I'm coming home from school, and man, I've got to click the set on and watch where the action is.
Yeah, every afternoon about 4:30.
Every teenager around the country,
well, that was kind of for the Raiders. It was a precursor to what MTV does for new acts today.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole country. Before that time, we were really, really popular in the Northwest, and wherever we'd played in person. We'd draw a crowd, but at the rate we were going, maybe by the year 2000,
sure,
we might have become known through the whole states. But through the magic of television, the media of communication, the whole country saw us at once. Apparently, liked us, and the rest, as I say, is history.
Hey, speaking of where the action is, I want you to know efforts were made today to get Dick Clark and his wife Carrie on to wish you a happy birthday. They're in the air. They're flying right now. But they expressly told us to wish you a very happy birthday.
Well, gosh, thank you very much. I mean, if it had been for Dick Clark, who had, the chutzpah or...
the foresight.
Yeah, foresight. You supply the adjective.
Thank you, yes.
To put us on national network television. The Raiders, as I say, we'd still be touring around, probably playing, packing those armories and auditoriums.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and do this while we're at it.
Okay.
Something's happening, something in the air. Listen to the sound now, come from everywhere.
It'll happen in '68 right there, huh?
That's right. After we hosted, well, not hosted, we were the I guess the house band on Where the Action Is.
That wasn't a bad gig, though.
No, not at all.
Pretty good
Basically, we played all of our not a lot of our tunes, all of our tunes, and supplied the background music for Steve Alamo and Linda Scott,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tina Mason, who followed her, who were the kind of I guess the Giselle McKenzie and whoever the host, male host was on
Your Hit Parade.
Your Hit Parade.
Yes.
Yeah,
Snooky Lamb.
I know I'm not dealing with a 19-year-old.
Yeah. we're dating both of ourselves here very badly.
I mean, if people remember your Hit Parade, they remember black and white television,
That's
which
right.
basically Where the Action Is was, and it ran for 3 years from 65 to 60 into 67, almost 68, and about that time we, after the series was over on ABC, we got a weekly show called Happening,
Mm-hmm.
and then Happening 68. Which you just played the theme song for. So
Yeah.
obviously you've done your research.
I try. Listen,
Done very well.
Time is getting away from us, and we have to pay a few bills around here as well.
Okay.
But as soon as we come back from this commercial here, we are going to line up a few people to talk to you. Okay?
I'm sitting here. I'll get in the tub and wait.
I understand.
Okay.
We're talking to Mark Lindsay, and we'll be back to Mark in just a bit. It's 9:24 right now. It's 1971, and Indian Reservation is going to go on to sell, what is it, Mark, 4 million plus copies?
Well, that's what the report was. Apparently, it was the biggest selling single in the history of CBS Records.
Wow.
At that time.
Yeah.
To be surpassed by Bridge Over Troubled Water, but I'm glad to held the record just for a minute.
If you're going to be beaten out, that's not a bad group to lose
Simon
to.
Garfunkel's some of my favorite artists. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful tune.
Yeah. Now, did I hear correctly that this was originally planned as a solo for you? Correct?
Well, actually, it was cut as a Mark Lindsay single. At the time, we had just finished Collage, and the name, the nomenclature had been changed from Paul and the Raiders to Raiders, which was kind of a vain attempt to propel us into the, well, let's say that good time music and the kind of the heyday of the happy 60s was kind of waning as Vietnam wound on and Haight-Ashbury blossomed, etc., etc. So we kind of tried to change the music and change the image, but because of the success Where the Action Is and Happening, it's very hard, once you get a visual image in your mind, to imagine anything else. So no matter what the music sounded like, people still saw three-cornered hats, ponytails, and tights.
Yeah, exactly. Did you get some adverse reaction from fans by going in that direction?
Well, actually, no, because the fans that loved us, the ones that were hardcore fans went along. The ones that weren't, it didn't sound like the Raiders, so they weren't interested or didn't pay attention. It wasn't adverse. It was just kind of like, well, what happened?
Yeah. Let's explore this and see where it's going.
So therefore, I'm sure that when people think of the name Paul and the Raiders, the first image they get in their mind is three-cornered hats, tight, long coats, and high boots. And maybe a ponytail.
Well, let's see. We may have a ponytail out there because we're going to go to Blanche and see what she has to say. Blanche, you're on with Mark Lindsay. Hello.
Hello. Unfortunately, I'm not wearing a ponytail right now, but...
Well, that's okay.
Well, anyway, I was just going to ask you about that Indian Reservation song. What's the story behind it? I mean, it's sort of a strange little tune, and it's rather unusual what I know of Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Well,
I also want to ask you about Arizona.
As Dave said, it wasn't cut for Palmer and the Raiders. Jack Gold, who was head of A&R for CBS Records on the West Coast at that time, suggested to me after the success of Arizona that I cut Indian Reservation. And I said, well, geez, Jack, it was out by Don Farden 6 months ago, and it kind of like fell off the charts.
Now, that was in Great Britain, right?
Right. He said, but it's been a big hit there. I think you and I do have a small amount of Native American blood, as a lot of us people in the United States do.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I think you can relate to this. You are part Cherokee. I said, yes, I am. He said, even though it isn't a hit here, I think you could make it a hit. So I went ahead and recorded it with studio musicians. But when I finished it, and usually I didn't produce my records. It was Jerry Fuller, who produced also Gary Puckett, was my producer for the Mark Lindsay stuff, not the Raider stuff. But he was busy on, as a matter of fact, producing Gary at that time, and so I went ahead and produced that session, the Indian Reservation session, myself. When I was through, I loved the record. I loved what we'd done. I liked the sound and everything else, but I was so close to it, I couldn't call it. So we needed a single for the Raiders, and I told Paul, I said, look, I just cut this thing for myself, and we have this thing, I just cut Birds of a Feather for the Raiders, but if you want, we can put out this under the Raiders' name. And Jack Gold called it, said, or actually Clive Davis, they wanted to put it out under the Raiders, which we did, so it became the biggest single the Raiders never played on, I guess.
That's a good way to describe it. Blanche also wanted to know about your hit Arizona, which number 10 was on the charts for 11 weeks. We're talking back in early 1970. How about that one, Mark?
Well, that was the second single ever released as a solo artist. The first one was a thing called First Hymn from Grand Terrace, written by Jimmy Webb, which let's say, I won't say it fell on deaf ears, but it wasn't a smash hit.
Okay.
I think people were more used to hearing Mark Lindsay being, the lead singer of Palmer and the Raiders, more a la Just Like Me, Kicks Hungry, etc. So when the first hymn came out, which was the ballad, it was I wasn't well received. It was kind of ignored again. But when I first heard Arizona, Jerry Fuller and I were playing a stack of music that had come in from various writers, and when I heard the first chorus, that's it. And we both recognized it was a smash record. It was written by a guy named Kenny Young, who at that time was living in Australia, and we cut the song. And thank God that the rest of America and the world thought the same thing about it that we did. That it was a great verse and a great hook.
Well, not only that, but maybe somebody should have said, "Gee, Mark, we can do 49 more of these for the other states."
Well, you know what? As we speak, Dave, we have a request into Arizona to make it the kind of not the official state song, because I know they have one of those already, but maybe like a tourist thing for Arizona.
Yeah, like come see Arizona.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Put on your rainbow shades and see Arizona.
Ooh. Hey, let's give people a little treat. Now, I've got the new CD here in front of me titled Video Dreams.
Ooh, we're talking.
Yeah,
okay.
Hey, we got a lot of nice cuts on here, and in particular, I wanted to give them a little taste of the title track. So let's have them have a little listen to this for a moment.
Okay.
Stuck here on this paragraph of time unwound, staring into nothing as my world runs down.
Now, I got to tell you, Mark, that sounds like some guy about 26 years old right there.
Well, yeah, Dave, I got to confess, my birthday is tomorrow, but for some strange reason, as we look in the mirror, we all see changes. But for some strange reason, I still sound like I'm 16 years old. My voice has never changed, and I used to, at first that used to worry me, but now I guess it's kind of a blessing. It does. It sounds like
So instead
Sounds
of
like this young innocent kid, and although I'm not that anymore.
instead of a portrait in your attic turning gray, a la Dorian Gray, somewhere there is a larynx turning gray somewhere.
There's got to be a larynx that is fossilized at this point in time.
Now I notice on here that you were the fellow who wrote many of the tunes on Video Dreams, right?
That's true, and that the one cut you played, we talked about Simon and Garfunkel before.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't play the chorus or the bridge, but had you done that, well, even with the guitar work and stuff, I think people would recognize that obviously Paul Simon is one of my heroes.
Well, you've had a lot of influences in your career.
Oh yeah, and mostly it's the great writers, more than the great vocalists, because I think of myself as a better writer than I am a vocalist, and my writing is, I think, getting better. But only the reason I'm not a great vocalist is because I still sound like I did when I was 16.
Yeah.
I haven't really changed that much, and you're supposed to improve or whatever. But basically, I sound like I did then, and I still sound like that. So if people like that then, I guess I like it now.
I understand. We're going to play a little of Tokyo Blues later.
All
but
right,
first,
a little Get Down Boogie.
There you go. First, let's go to Donna. Donna is calling us from Afton. Hello, Donna. You're on with Mark Lindsay.
Hi there. I'm getting nervous.
Why are you getting nervous?
I don't know. I was a big fan of yours in the '60s, along with my friends.
Well,
you know.
don't stop.
God, I love that song, Cherokee Nation. Who wrote that?
That was written by a guy named John D. Loudermilk.
Great
He was
song.
one of the premier writers of tunes in the United States of America. He wrote Tobacco Road. He also wrote The Shadow of Your Smile.
Oh my God, he wrote that too? I didn't know
He's a
that.
very versatile guy.
Okay, now coming in a question. Why weren't you at Union Station last summer with Paul Revere and the Raiders?
Well, because when I hung up my rock and roll shoes, I thought, in the middle 70s, and I left the group. The group disbanded, and then I guess formed again later in the late 70s, early 80s. But at that time, I wasn't performing, and I didn't perform until the mid-80s.
And well, I think it'd be great if you would tour with them and the Monkees. I think that it would be a great show.
Sounds like a good idea to me. All you got to do is talk to the rest of the people, and if they agree, I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, I was at Union Station last summer when they were there, and it was wall-to-wall people.
Well, yeah,
and they did a great show, I might add.
We played Union Station with actually Peter Noon a few years ago.
Oh, really? Oh.
Way back, but sure, I'd be glad. But that sounds like a great tour. Palmer and the Raiders, the original Palmer and the Raiders and the Monkees. Why not?
I think so. I think that'd be a fantastic show.
Yeah,
really, think about it.
Mike Nesmith shows up, okay?
Yeah. Okay, bye. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Donna. I'll tell you what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, Mark. Why don't we go ahead and
You listen.
let's
Your show, Dave.
let's play Tokyo Blues all the way through, and
Wow, okay.
we'll seg out of that right to a commercial, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Okie doke.
Sound like a good idea?
Hey, I say it's your show.
Whoa, thank you ever so much.
All
It's
right.
9:36. We're talking with Mark Lindsay, and we'll be having more of Mark in the interview portion coming up. But this is from his latest CD, Video Dreams. It's Tokyo Blues. Let's give it a listen.
I took the ocean run to the rising sun, and I stayed for a couple of years. I learned to play in the Eastern way and drinking that fine rice beer. I was moving around in a big town when I met a little Tokyo doll. I was headed up for the showdown when she made me climb fruit on tall. You can look, but don't touch. Cause you're feeling no good till you get in trouble, but you can think, boy, it won't do. Papa's talking to his mama, it's all over you. What are you gonna do? You better play some Tokyo Blues.
And as we come back with a little bit more from Video Dreams, I like that Tokyo Blues there. That was good
thank
stuff.
you very much. It's a jumping track. That, by the way, if you like that, that's basically the musicians that I tour with now are all on that record. The guitar work is done by Tom Kolb, who also is a co-writer on a couple of songs. He's the musical director, the guitar player, and all the guys are basically. This is just kind of a. It might not be interesting to everyone, but if you're a musician, like the Berklee School of Music is in San Francisco. There's a thing in L.A. called MI, Musicians Institute, and basically all the guys in my band teach there. So they kind of have, as Tom says, in every class I've got 2 or 3 guys that want to be Eddie Van Halen.
So these are not only professional musicians; they are professionals.
Yeah, they are really good. But the great thing about it is they teach all week, and when it comes time on a weekend to go out and we play, they're ready to bust out. And obviously they love rock and roll, and you can hear the spirit in Tokyo Blues.
Sure.
They're really cranking there. And
yes, they are.
And and Tom again is my kind of right hand man. But if you like that, we sound the same in person.
That's going to sound pretty good for that Japanese audience too.
Well, you know what? We've gotten a lot of mileage out of that. They're talking about a tour, so you never know.
That's great. Let's put Jeff on next. Jeff is calling from Delwood. Hello, Jeff. You're on with Mark Lindsay.
How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing wonderfully. And Dave is too.
I am.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, sir. I was just thinking. I have the 2-disc Sony Legacy Raiders collection. It's a fine collection, and I particularly love all the early stuff.
Do you have the double CD?
Right, the one that's got quite a few of the songs that you all did.
Okay, well then, guess what? We are what's in the works right now is it's probably either 2 single CDs or a double CD compilation on Sundazed Records.
Oh, okay.
All the early stuff, alternate versions and masters of like the downbeat stuff, like Long Hair, all the early Raider stuff, including outtakes that never been heard before. Plus, the first vocal I ever did in my life at 8/16 is on there, and
that was just last year. Last year.
A couple years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. And some stuff never heard before, plus the live stuff done in the same era.
Oh, that sounds great.
And we're making sure that the tapes, it's kind of like, the Beatles anthology.
Right.
Not comparing us to the Beatles, but it's like that. There are unreleased stuff, early takes, live stuff, and kind of like that.
One regret, if I may, on the Legacy disc, and I know that on Sundays that they've re-released some of the LPs. One of my favorite Raiders B-side, or is not on there, was In My Community. For some reason, I
I think that's on Sundays. I think released this package called The Essential Ride.
Okay.
And I think In My Community is on there. They did the hits and some of the album cuts that maybe should have been hits.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that because I enjoyed that.
Sundays. I don't have the number right here, but I'll get it before the interview is over.
Well, I've got their webpage, so I'm into the web myself, and I've seen your name pop up on a couple of the links. And
give us a holler on the web, and we'll let you know how to get in touch with Sundays. But the Essential Ride Plus, the sound is much better than the Sony disc because the producer Bob Irwin is he's one of us. He's a stickler for the original sound.
Yeah, I think Jeff just departed.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here and you're still there, so that's the important part. But
did we lose?
I think his time was up or something.
Oh well.
Mark, let's tell people that they can get a lot of this information from the fan letter, from the newsletter.
Well, the newsletter, comes out once a month. But if you're interested, again, if you're on the web, it's www.marklindsay.com, and if you're at the email address, since I'm sitting in the tub, you have it.
I have it. It's Mark Lindsay with no Y, MarkLindsa @ AOL.com. SteppingOut.com. Now, the newsletter is titled Stepping Out. Gee, I wonder where they came up with that idea.
Oh, boy, I don't know.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, it must have been a brainstorm. $15 in U.S. and $18 in U.S. funds from Canada. Internationally, $25 in U.S. funds. And all kinds of articles. Mark has questions that he answers from the fans, upcoming concert appearances, etc., catalog material.
The great thing about it is we're finding as we go out, since I've started touring again, people come up and say, see, here's a picture I took of the group in 1967.
Yeah.
So we put a lot of early photographs that have never been seen anywhere before by us or anyone else, just because it's interesting, I think.
Yeah. Before we go to our last break for the hour, I thought we'd lead in because not only is the break good for people here because we get to sell a little business here at the radio station, but it reminds me that we're having a very good time here talking with Mark Lindsay, and this is a good thing.
Ooh, my favorite.
Seems this world got you down. You're feeling bad vibrations ground. Well, open your eyes, girl. Look at me. Look, I wanna show you how it ought to be. We're gonna have a good thing. Such a good thing, She must belong to San Francisco. She must have lost her way. Posting a poster of Pancho and Cisco one California day. She says she believes in Robin Hood and brotherhood and colors of green and gray. And all you can do is laugh at her. Doesn't anybody know how to pray? Arizona, take off your rainbow shades. Arizona, have another look at the world.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm getting pumped, I'm telling you.
Dave, I just came up with an idea.
Yes, sir.
There were a very, very momentous occasion.
By the way, do you have your rubber ducky with you? Because I just heard a little water in the background.
Well, here's a little, this is a splash.
That's good, that's a
Now you
splash.
water.
Okay, anyway, your idea is?
My idea is, when we were in St. Louis on a promo tour for CBS Records in 1965, we went to the Chase Hotel, which was just opening then. The now, I think, defunct or maybe opened again. Chase Hotel in St. Louis.
Pretty much defunct.
Yep, but it was a grand opening then. And as a publicity stunt, all the Raiders got together and they put Paul on a horse, and we rode into the lobby of the Chase Hotel to register.
I love it. I love it.
There's a great publicity photo with Paul holding his hat over his face because something is happening in the picture that embarrasses him.
Let me make a wild guess.
So here's my challenge.
Yeah.
If one of the listeners out there knows the answer, I will send personally a CD of Video Dreams to them.
I love it. We won't go into any further detail.
Paul's holding the hat over
Why
his
would he
face.
hold his tri-corner hat over
his face?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Well, let's try Dave in Florissant. He just may know. Dave in Florissant, go for it.
No, I don't know the answer, but Mark, I wanted to say I saw you when you were down at Union Station.
Yeah?
I saw you a couple years ago at Riverport, and man, you sound just as good as you did 30-something years ago.
Well, thank God for vitamins.
Yeah, I mean, you rock and roll. That was one of the best concerts I've seen in years out of
Well, I run 6 miles every other day just so I can do this because rock and roll is a high-energy game. But thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
That's great. That is great. Let's go to Larry in Mount Sterling. Larry, you're up next with Mark Lindsay.
I got a couple of questions from Mark. Paul's Render is always my favorite group back in the 60s.
Okay.
And I wondered, could you tell me some of the background of my all-time favorite Raiders, part of the Raiders song, Just Like Me? And also, could you tell me if you appeared in any of the rock and roll movies from back in the 60s? And thank you so much.
Okay, well, Just Like Me was a song that was written by a guy from the Northwest, and our manager at that time, named Roger Hart. And when we heard it, I immediately liked it because one of my big influences were the Kinks, and also the Sonics, the Wailers, from the Seattle area, and it just had that kind of No, it had this Kinks riff, but it was slightly turned around.
Little
So I like
bit
that.
like that, right?
Well, there it goes.
That is, boy. That's the Kinks.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's right. He's right.
In the
Yeah.
daytime, all day, and all of the night.
In my bathtub all of the night.
Yes, and so you obviously see the Kinks influence, but it worked. It worked. I mean, I sang it with conviction. And by the way, I'm very thankful that somebody rated Scream on Just Like Me just before the guitar solo as one of the 10 best screams in rock and roll, up there with the one just before that Roger Daltrey does on the Who song. What is that song?
Whatever that is.
Well,
We're not talking about Roger Daltrey tonight.
Well, anyway, the Who's own. I'll think of it, but it's a great scream on that record.
Let's go to Patty in St. Louis. She may have the answer from the chase. Hi, Patty. You're on with Mark.
Hi. I was thinking maybe the horse did a doo-doo on the floor.
Oh, yeah, that's close enough, I think, for
that is close enough.
The horse put the pee-pee on the rug.
He was doing a number one.
I didn't want to number them.
He was trying to say Paul Revere and the Raiders are number one.
But I think that when we get off the phone, you'll stay on the line and give your address to all the
we will do that.
Whatever happens there at the Big 550.
Yep, you got it.
And Dave will pass it on, and we will send you a autographed copy of Video Dreams. And your name again?
Patty.
Well, but wait a minute. Is it T-T-I or T-T-Y?
It's a Y.
It's with a Y.
T-T-Y. Okay, you got it. So
thank you.
We're going to
and a good guess.
That's very good, Patty. I'm going to turn you over to Buzz, and he'll get all the pertinent information. So stand by, and he'll be talking to you next. We couldn't close out any interview with Mark Lindsay without doing even some more of the oldies. I mean, Video Dreams is the thing for right now.
Well, I know, but when you come to see Mark Lindsay today,
we get a little bit of everything.
We'll do one or two old new songs, but mostly old songs because I don't think it's really fair to play stuff that people haven't heard. But you might hear Tokyo Blues and Video Dreams, and you're going to hear Kicks, Hungry, Just Like Me, Arizona, Indian Reservation, etc., etc., etc.
Would it be possible that we'd hear a little bit of...
Woo!
Silverbird, Garden Gate 19. Satisfy your ultimate mind, trying out a dream.
Yeah, a little silver bird there. I wanted to work that.
Silver bird. You know what? There were, Yamaha motorcycles made a commercial called Yamaha, won't you fly me away? And I promise you, I made more money off the Yamaha commercial than I did off Silverbird.
Really?
But I think this year we're going to do a medley of Silverbird in Arizona. So yes, they might hear that.
That's not a bad little idea. Yeah. So when Mark Lindsay isn't living in the islands, does Mark call any other place home?
No, we recently moved from Idaho, but Dave, I got to tell you, I was born in Oregon and raised in southern Idaho, and spent like 20 years in the early 60s on in Southern California, spent some time in Nashville.
Yeah.
And of course we've played just about everywhere there is to play. But boy, Maui feels like home to me.
I understand. And you know, a bathtub would feel like home almost anywhere.
Well, I got to describe this.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in the bathtub. I would take a shower, but it would make too noisy.
That's true.
I don't want people to think that I'm prissy or anything like that. Sitting in the bathtub, there are plants all around. There's a cat trying to get in the tub with me, but there's a roof up above, but there's about a 2-foot area where I can look out at the jungle, and there's no screen or anything. So basically, we're outside, kind of. The tub area is kind of outside of the house.
Yeah.
The house is over there, and so right now we're outside in the jungle, but screened in, and of course there's a discreet wooden wall around it.
Hey, guess what? We have a young lady standing by right now. She sang on stage with you in Indianapolis a few years ago. This is Diane. Diane, meet again Mark Lindsay.
Hi, Mark.
Diane.
Hi. I don't know if you remember me and my little girl. We went to California and New Jersey and sang on stage with you in Indianapolis, and 92?
Oh, from St. Louis.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. So
You're the fly girl.
that's right. I
Yes,
invited
of
you to
course
go
I
flying
do.
with me in December, and didn't hear from you.
Excuse me.
I invited you to go flying when you were in town in December, but I didn't hear from you, so the offer's still
I don't
good.
think we got the message because I'm always ready for a trip to go out. you
Well,
know.
next time you're in town, you give me a call and we'll go.
Well, thank you very much. Can you fly me under the arch?
Only if
That's
the
illegal.
FAA is not looking at.
Yeah.
Probably would not be a
Okay.
career-enhancing move for me.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Good
Thank you,
talking.
Diane.
So I want to say hi to you and Deb and Sparky and everybody.
Well, thanks so much. I
Okay,
appreciate
thanks.
that.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
she remembered as well. Mark, as we faded out here, we're going to bring back up the little Video Dreams. Let people know that is the current CD if they would like
Well,
to.
yeah, and if you want information on me or the Raiders, it's www.marklindsay.com or the web address, which
We have them all here, Mark. We have two
Okay,
more. We have 2 more hours of
you'll
program.
pass them on.
Oh yeah, we certainly
You'll
will.
pass them
We certainly will. Hey, listen.
and you'll give me also the number of Jan's number so I can send it.
We will. That was Patty and
Patty,
Diane. Yeah,
excuse me.
that's quite all right. Listen, thanks an awful lot for being our guest tonight. Have you washed behind your ears yet?
No, I'm waiting till we get off. That's too splashy.
Well, you got that right. You got that right. Mark
Dave,
Lindsay, thanks an awful
thank
lot.
you so
We
much.
appreciate it.
Thanks to the Big 550 and you, and we'll be tuning you in on the web because
Very good.
keep in tune.